Has it come across you guys have started to lean on him a little bit more to make plays with his legs, or has it just been opportunities that presented itself that he's taken advantage of?
A little bit more of the latter, just taking opportunities, plays breaking down, playing off schedule. There are some design quarterback runs that we have to use because that's his strength, one of his strengths, excuse me. But a lot of it's ad lib. That's what we'd rather do. Not try to run our quarterback too much, but there's some instances where we do want to run him.
Coach, can you give us an update on Ed Oliver?
On Ed will he still has a knee bruise, and it's still day to day. He'll do some kind of increase his workload throughout the week. It's looking better, but it's just day to day, and we got to be patient.
What about Lark?
Courtney, it was not as severe as we thought. It still is a knee injury, obviously. So we just got to continue to monitor him. Right now he's very questionable for this weekend, so we'll just continue to monitor him and have him in our prayers. And he's done a great job. I mean, I don't want to just brush by, because he has come so far and has worked so hard on and off the field, in the classroom, and just that's the fun part about our job. Yes, winning is awesome. I'm with you on that, but just seeing guys develop and grow up and not just do tremendous things on the field that we all see on game day, but just academically and all those type of things. It's a proud moment for a coach.
Major, we didn't get a chance on Lard to actually see what happened. It was kind of on that far corner, but when you went back and looked, what happened? Did he step on?
Just came down. Yeah, just came down. Made a play on a ball that he scored on earlier, and jumped up to make a play and just came down funny. And thank goodness it wasn't super serious. So count our blessings and move on and heal up, and and he'll come right back.
And
yes, sir. Non-surgical. Yes, sir.
And back on Ed, how much goes into it being Ed, and he wants to be out there as quick as possible, but also taking a step back that as coaches you have to not only be mindful of him and his health, but the team in general in terms of when you make that decision?
Right. It's up to Ed and the doctors. That's our approach as a coaching staff. We're not going to meddle in something that we don't know about in terms of how somebody's body's actually feeling to them, and then what doctors know. So to us, we always when we get an injury report and it's questionable or out, you move on, and your mindset is on developing these guys, getting these guys ready for the game. If someone's able to join in later in the week, then you add them into the game plan, but you go into the week knowing these are the guys that we're going to have to go win the game with. So let's rep these guys and trust our doctors and trust the young man to tell us how he feels and work our plans around it.
We'll stick with injuries. One more question here. Mason Denley looked like he was out for the last game. Keenan Murphy got a start there.
Yep.
Any updates on him, and how'd you feel like Keenan did in his first start?
Yeah, and that crack back right there for half at Navy, he took a shot right to the head and went through concussion protocol. Could not play last week, so we expect to have him back this week, and he's been going through that and going through it pretty clean. So hope to have him back.
Initial thoughts on SMU, Major, and you've kind of alluded to when you get to November and really any conference game on the road at night, it's one of those games where you have to be extra mindful. But what jumps out about SMU and going on the road?
Well, the last 2 weeks, I mean, it's not about record. It's about what kind of ball you're playing right now. And I think, anytime you beat a Navy team, you're a tough team. And anytime you can go down to Tulane and you beat Willie Fritz, that's a disciplined team. And then they get into a dogfight, an overtime game with Cincinnati, so they're playing their best football right now. And you always have to have that mindset as a competitor that Saturday may be their day, regardless of what the record is. That may be their best shot, and that's what we're always preparing for. But it's always difficult to go on the road. It's always difficult to go on the road at night. But our guys have a great mindset right now, and we have a great feel with our team in terms of just focus on what you need to do this week and the discipline to do it, regardless of whether your class load is heavy, you're tired, you're having success, you're injured, you're banged up. Have focus on the finer things and the discipline to carry it out, and those guys' minds are in the right place, and wouldn't expect anything different tomorrow when we go out there and practice in terms of the way they prepared, and that's what's allowed them to have the success. But it's November, and they always remember November, all those type of things. But we haven't won anything yet. We haven't won the West. We haven't won a conference. There's no bowl games being handed out. Everything's still ahead of us. So it's a matter of what you want and what you're willing to put in. And when you look back from it 5-6 weeks from now, what kind of Tuesday practice did I have? What kind of Wednesday practice did I have? What kind of studying did I do at night to give myself that opportunity? Understanding it's a week-by-week approach, but you have to look at it that way. I mean, it's 4 games left. We're 2/3 of the way through the season, so what do you want? And what are you willing to do to get it?
You guys used Terrence Williams in the Wildcat quite a bit in the last game. Is that something you're planning on putting in as a permanent part of the offense?
Yeah, we're going to continue to snap the ball to different people, whether it's Terrence, Pat, Bryson, De'Eric, just trying to get a lot of different playmakers involved. And sometimes the easiest way to get them involved is to snap it to them. So we're going to continue to have those elements in what we do offensively.
By doing that, that's still Terrence's back. I mean, it looks like in terms of
Yeah.
quality, you feel like he's
Yeah, I saw the way he ran. He had a couple runs in there where he looked like Terrence. And it's hard when you got a knee or an ankle as a running back, and you're a big guy. I mean, that's a lot of weight he's putting on it. So he looked like he was back to himself Saturday.
I know you touched on it briefly afterwards, and you probably won't discuss it with the team, but you guys make a big jump into the rankings this week at 17. Do you see at least a little bit of any motivation boost or anything, a little bit of pep in anybody's step? Does it give guys a little bit more reward in the real world, so to speak, for their efforts that they've been going through all year?
I think they're grateful. They're grateful of the recognition and the respect in the coaches poll. But I think we all are on the same page in terms of we haven't won anything. These are rankings. This is the entertainment dollar right now. I mean, this is not real. This is what people want to get involved with and talk about and like and retweet and all. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is we go out and have a great Tuesday practice the way we've been doing. We try to be different in everything that we do. And that's head coach, everybody. Be different in our preparation, and that's what we're going to hang our hat on and focus and discipline in our assignments.
Major, I'm not sure if you had been announced as OC at the time, but Ben Hicks, the quarterback at SMU, had originally been a Houston commitment, and I think he decided to decommit with the coaching change. Were you involved in any of that? And then secondly, it looks like they've kind of settled on a quarterback, at least from the last game. Any thoughts on whether do you still see them as a 2-quarterback deal, or do y'all go in, looking at Hicks as being the guy?
You've always got to prepare for both. Ben was a mid-year enrollee at SMU, and I think I was hired maybe about a week and a half into January. I had about 2 days to recruit him to keep him here, and he had already had SMU sheets and everything. He was ready to move into the dorm. So it was a tough get with about 48 hours to try to flip him, but very tough. I love the way he plays. A tough guy at quarterback, competitor, can make a lot of throws. He's given us fits before, and he's a great player. So our defense has got the work cut out for him, and we've got to have a great plan for him.
On the defense, a couple of guys last week had said after Texas Tech that they had gotten together as a team, talked through things, and you can see the results, especially in conference. What's been the biggest takeaway for you in terms of what you've seen this defense do? Because like you alluded to, teams are going to get points, they're going to get yards, but it's in those crucial situations when you kind of rise to the top.
Well, the response of the staff, Coach D'Onofrio, his staff, the players. We know the way we played in Lubbock, it wasn't us. We've got great players and we've got great coaches, and we got to go back and focus on the things that we need to be a better defense. And we talked about free ones, and we still got to get better at that. There was a couple of times where we gave up a big play in the passing game there in the third quarter, and we've got to correct those things. There were some tackling issues in the first half. They got much better in the second half. We are tackling better on the perimeter. But we just got to continue to stay humble and hungry. I know it sounds like coach speak, but that's the reality of it. I mean, you haven't arrived after week 8. You're not dead after week 3. The whole point is to continue to improve and get better. And that's the positive, is that right now I feel like we're getting better as a football team. And when you can say that about your team across the board, week 8, then you're doing the right things. Now you just don't fall in love with yourself. You go back to work and continue to improve every day. Yeah, all turnovers and all scoring plays are subject to review and are reviewable. I saw what you saw when I saw the TV copy in terms of the ball hitting the ground. So, you just play the game. play the game and you don't worry about things. And that was the other thing I was very proud of our team. We get backed up on the 1 yard line, defense gets a stop. Derek throws the ball away, doesn't matter. It's called grounding, and I saw our team respond and overcome anything and everything, offensively, defensively. It doesn't matter whether it's a good call or bad call, it's irrelevant. It's about response and the way our guys responded and continued to fight, and our defense held them 29 yards rushing in the second half, had 6 stops out of those 6 drives, and I think they scored a touchdown in one of those 6 drives, and then had 2 takeaways, and then that's when you saw the score kind of spread itself apart, and then our offense into the game with a 7-minute drive. So we just need to continue to do the right things during the week, continue to prepare the right way, have the same focus and discipline so you can close halves the way we closed the second quarter, come out the way we did in the third, and then close the game the way we wanted to.
When you guys have a tight game like that for so long, the defense steps up and make plays, guys like Ed Oliver, we're talking about Ed Oliver a lot, but see the defense without him
Amen.
step up and make those plays. What did that mean to you?
Proud of him. And I told him early in the week, I was like, I love Ed. Ed is a tremendous part of our football team and our program. But we always want to do something that makes us a little bit special. And this is an opportunity to play an undefeated team without your best player and prove what you can do. And, they did that in the second half. I mean, they really played well and took the ball away a couple times. And I thought Derek's 4th down play was a game-changing play. And I thought Nick's interception in the end zone. Those were 2 huge plays that swayed the momentum of the game. And, just proud of the defensive players. And, again, it's back to SMU. We're not going to fall in love with ourselves. Keep moving, keep working, keep doing the right things right.